shit. Welcome. How's it going, Kevin? Hola, what's up? How you doing? Joffrey. What's up, Sylvia? Here we go. All right, onward to level 2. We'll go ahead and get this just in case. Nice, the undisputed game. I used to play UFC games a lot. Yeah, I used to play UFC games on Dreamcast a lot. I loved the Dreamcast. That was the first UFC game that I ever saw that I was like, whoa. This looks real. And of course that was, 2001. And way less worries at that time. Way less to worry about. Yes. That was the last system that Sega made, that's correct. And there's been rumor of a Dreamcast too, but it's not the last system that Sega helped with. Sega helped make the Xbox. The original Xbox. What's up, Marcus? How you doing, man? What's up, Justin Vogel? How you doing, dude? Hanging in there, that's good. I'm gonna get this whistle just in case. Here we go.
Thanks for the follow.
Thank you for the follow, appreciate that. Here we go. Hopefully everybody's having a good morning. Thanks again for joining, whatever you might be doing. Watching TV, getting ready to play a game, maybe getting ready to go to work. Who knows? Who knows? All right, onward. Had an apple this morning so far. How are you guys hanging in there food-wise? What'd you guys have?
Thanks
Here we go. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Thank you for the follow. Hey, thank you so much for the heart, me. Appreciate that. Joshua Newsom, thanks for the share. How you doing, buddy? So,
Thanks for the follow.
Here. Oh, let's get that mushroom house. Joshua Newsom with the react and the share. Thank you for the share. Here we go. Thank you for the Hadouken. Appreciate that, Maya. How are you? No, I'll never run out of good games to play. There's always something to find. Then you'll have to become the nerd. That's funny. Here we go, working our way through Mario 3 here. Not a super tough ship. I remember the first time I came across this, I was, you know, the music, the boss, everything about this was very intimidating back in the day. There we go. Sweet. Almost landed back on the ground. Or maybe I did and it just, there's a space between there. Oh well. It looked like I caught it still kind of in the air. Yeah, Phoenix, the nerd put out some good content, that's for sure. That is for sure.
Thanks for the follow.
Did Dreamcast compete with Sony PlayStation? Well, believe it or not, Dreamcast was the competitor to the PlayStation 2. The Dreamcast was not part of the the fourth generation of gaming. It was part of the fifth generation of gaming. If you categorize the Dreamcast technically was in competition with the Xbox and the GameCube and the PS2. Funny as it is, though, the people who worked on the Dreamcast, half that team went and helped work on the original Xbox. So that's why the Dreamcast, that's why the Xbox got so many exclusives. Like the Xbox got Dead or Alive and Shenmue 3. Yep, the Dreamcast, the Xbox was basically kind of another Dreamcast, honestly. Still is. Man. It was a big sneeze. Well, also too, Microsoft worked with Xbox to help them have a online service on the Dreamcast. That was a Microsoft service. Hey, Lady J, how's it going? The king of wearing out catchphrases. Quincy, welcome in. Here we go. Yeah, the Xbox definitely peaked with the 360. The original Xbox does have a really interesting library. And one of the reasons for that is because it was one of the first kind of hybrid consoles that could kind of play things that an Xbox couldn't, or that a PS2 couldn't, and kind of ran like a PC, kind of. Here we go. Yeah, so that was a big difference too. The Xbox was just very different from anything we had ever seen at the time. Like, no other console at the time could run Doom 3. Doom 3 was a huge deal. If you guys were gaming back in the day, Doom 3 was like exclusive to PC for a long time because of how powerful it was. There we go. Yeah, the BFG edition of Doom 3 was awesome. That's when you got the flashlight and stuff that would attach to the gun. Because in the original Doom 3, you couldn't use your flashlight and your pew-pew at the same time. That was tough. What's up, Michael? How you doing, bud? Hey, Mark Pobolizio. Not much and good. Fantastic. Chris Stinger making sure those notifications are on. Good, man. I never said whether the flashlight made it bad or good. I just said that you couldn't use the flashlight in the first one until they made it available. But sure, you know, you're welcome to your opinion, Phoenix. It was more intense. Can't have survival horror without some jank. And that might be true. You know, you have the tank controls and you have the lack of flashlight. I don't think that was necessarily jank though, but yeah. Yeah, the 360 had the games, man. That's where the games were. PS3 had some decent games too, but the 360 was the better system for sure. That's just an opinion though, but I think that opinion was, you know, pretty widely received. Let's see. I'm not gonna get the whistle right there. I don't need it. It's just another whistle. What do I think about Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom? It wouldn't be the first time that Iron Man dawned, and I know it's not Iron Man, it's like an alternate reality, but the Iron Man actually became Doctor Doom for a little while in the comics. So I think that's kind of the direction they're going. Who knows? Your favorite game on Xbox was Jaws Unleashed. What's up, Patty? Here we go, World 2. I forgot to reset the super chat goal here. Hold on just a minute. Just 1 second. I think I have Jaws Unleashed somewhere. Forget. Thought I heard something. Oh man, that almost sucked. You're okay, Phoenix. I didn't say whether it was good one way or the other. All I was doing was stating a fact that in the original Doom 3 you had to switch between, you know, I didn't say that it sucked that you had to do that, you know. But you're okay. I mean, you know, you're allowed to, you know, I just didn't know what you were disagreeing with because I didn't, you know, say whether I liked it one way or another. And, you know, even if I did say I liked it, it's just my opinion. You're welcome to your opinion. You know, we're all welcome to our own opinions. There we go. What's up, Sharonda? How you doing? Sharonda, is that it? All right. Doom 3 was innovative. Yeah, it was. Doom 3 was definitely an era-defining game for sure. Dark Ages, Doom the Dark Ages felt like Painkiller. Nintendo is awesome, I agree. You guys remember the game Painkiller? It was kind of like Serious Sam, but with demons. Like, my problem with Dark Ages is Doom 3, mostly the Doom games were about tight corridors and maybe a few open rooms, you know, but mainly it was the tight corridors that gave you that sense of dread. You didn't, you know, not knowing what was around the next corner. Doom the Dark Ages is just mainly, how am I this morning? I'm not great, honestly, but I'm doing okay. I'm kind of having a rough time lately. I mean, I'm not saying Painkiller was a good game.
Thanks for the follow.
That's not what I'm saying. But Doom 3 is not Painkiller. Doom 3 is not supposed to be not Doom 3, but Doom is not supposed to be like Painkiller. Doom is Doom. Doom is supposed to be, you know, tight corridors and you know, like basically a sense of dread. You don't really get much of a sense of dread when you have just a ton of enemies barreling at you, like in Serious Sam or Painkiller. It's not the same. That's more of an intense barrage of enemies, which is not really the same as the sense of dread you get not knowing what's around the next corner. Thanks, Sharonda. I used to just do a lot better doing this, and now I'm, you know, like, I for about 5 years I averaged about $100 a day doing this, streaming, and I'm not getting anywhere close to that now. And you know, just my support, I don't know where it's gone. You know, you know, even during our last, you know, last 4 years when things were higher priced than ever before, you know, it seems like people were supporting like crazy. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about it. So let's see here. People who used to send, you know, $20 every couple weeks or something like that, you know, don't do anything anymore, which is, you know, understandable. I don't know what's going on in their life, and I'm not going to judge. You know, people who used to come in here and support like crazy, maybe their life took a topsy-turvy, and that's why, so I can't judge once again. You know, but it just seems like I used to have a lot more people supporting the show, and I'm kind of weary about what the future holds. You know, I'm probably, this is probably going to be, this or next month is probably going to be one of my last months doing this full time, to be honest with you. I've been doing this full time for about, it'll be 6 years in January. It's gonna be really sad if January is when I have to break that streak, you know, and start doing DoorDash or something like that to supplement. So it is what it is. But if, you know, if the support isn't coming in the same way, then there's not really a whole lot I can do about that except for tighten my boots and get out there. The only problem is it's hard to get out there because in the time of being full-time for the last few years, you do something for so long and you feel like it's going to last forever. And then you end up, building a life around it. Now I have 5 kids. I met a lady with 2 kids when I first started streaming. Well, no, when I first went full time, of course I met someone and she had 2 kids of her own and we've had 3 kids together. TikTok it has nothing to do with TikTok. I never made much off TikTok anyway. It's all been Facebook for the last, I went full time on Facebook years and years and years ago. About in 2020, I went full time on Facebook. And every month on Facebook for the last 5 years, I would make between, $3,000 to $5,000 in donations and subs and, and like, typically I would average about $100 a day or more. And I'm not anywhere near close to that. So it's getting kind of to a scary point to where I'm probably gonna have to start thinking about other things to do that I can do, because I am a stay-at-home full-time dad. Like, that's what I do as well, is I stay home with my 3 kids while my lady goes and works. She had a really good job, and so when we first started having kids, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna stay home and take care of the kids, and you go to work still. And that's what we've been doing, and I've been able to make it pretty well doing this, but unfortunately it feels like my support has dwindled a lot, and I don't really know what to do sometimes right now. So I don't know, but all I know is that historically, if it was the 20th of the month or the 19th of the month, I would have about, I would typically have around 2,000 or so in income. And right now I think I'm around like 1,200 or so, which is not terrible, but at the same time, it's like I'm about 800 short of where I'm normally at. So I don't know. It's just, there's a huge chunk of people who used to support like crazy who don't really support anymore, and I can't judge, and I wish them well. Whether they quit watching or whether they got struck financially and can't do it anymore, or whether they just decided they don't want to support anymore, which is fine too. It is what it is, but I just got to figure out, so that's one scary thing. If you ever do go full-time streaming, just know that it is not guaranteed. It is a up in the air. It's an up in the air thing. Here we go. Yeah, but the economy was shit for the last 4 years. I mean, you're thank you so much. I appreciate that. I mean, you're not going to sit here and tell me that the economy wasn't shit under Biden.
Keep grinding, bro. I be live, you'll grow.
Appreciate it, buddy. The economy was shit under Biden. And I don't really talk politics, but you're not going to sit here and tell me that. And I know, and Lady J, I'm just getting a little emotional about it. That people try to tell me that the economy, it's like the economy is actually like getting better now than it was. Like you can look at the inflation rate and everything, and the economy is better now than it was over the last 4 years. But I made some of my let's see here.
Keep
What's up,
grinding,
Niall?
bro. I be live, you'll grow.
Thank you so much, Michael Wallace. I appreciate you, dude. I hope so. I really do. What's up, Niall? You're just playing Doom 2016. What are you talking about, Chips at Midnight? I'm gonna ban you in a second if you don't stop being weird. No, Lady J, you're all good. I'm just get what's it called? You know, passionate. So if I get passionate about something, you know, it's not that it's not you at all. It's just, you know, people try to tell me it's the economy, but during some of the worst 4 years we've ever seen economically, I did the best I've ever done. You know, during 2021, you know, we have all these, I'm sorry, but we have all these No Kings protests and shit going on right now, but we had a president that made us all accumulatively get a shot. You know, like we all had to go get an injection and they didn't even know what they were giving us. You know, like, you know, yeah. Hey, Spazington, thank you, dude. Appreciate that. You know, and now we actually, you know, have an economy that's decent. So no, during some of the 4 years that were like the worst economically, and you know, what do you mean, huh, Retrobits?
I hope it all turns back around for you, ADD. Cool face emoji.
Yeah, I never got. How am I making no sense, Retrobits? Please tell me what I'm making no sense about. Thank you, Justin. I'm actually making perfect sense. Please tell me what you think I'm making no sense about. Actually, and if you want to get technical, you would need to type "you're making no sense." You would need to type ROUYOU''RE if you wanted to tell me that. So if you're going to tell me I'm making no sense, why don't you use correct grammar? Thank you, Spazington. Appreciate it. You making no sense. You're making no sense. Let's see here. Getting political is something I rarely do on the channel, but you know, one thing that I think about is like, you know, I thought to, you know, I don't know. Economy has been bad for years. It started way before Biden. I remember unemployment rate was high. Right. That's true too. I appreciate that. No, I typically try to. You said you were making good money, but now you're not. So how's the economy better? You haven't. Do you not follow anything that's going on as to how the economy is better? Egg prices are lower. Food prices are lower. Gas prices are lower. Gas prices are under $3, under $3 all over the place. During the last 4 years of presidents, we had gas prices. Not you, Sylvia. No, not you. No. It's my fault. I was really talking about the job market. I lost my job, and I know a lot of others did during this time. I didn't mean the economy as a whole. Fair enough. No, you're right. There are a lot of people who are. You're not making any sense, Retro Bits. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Michael Wallace. I don't want you to feel like you're unappreciated. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you, Justin Vogel, for the stars, dude. Sorry, it's like watching. Groceries are actually cheaper now than they have been. Trust me, with from coming from someone with a family of 5, groceries are much less expensive than they are. If you're living in California, you probably won't notice much of a difference though, because California is ran by idiots. You can't compare California to the rest of the world. California is its own idiotic cesspool. I mean, I can take 5 showers a day here if I wanted to. You live in North Carolina, groceries are not cheaper. I mean, that's, you know, again, I'm telling you that I live in Missouri and groceries are cheaper here. You know, I saw egg prices go real low. Hey, what's up, Errol? How you doing? Anyway, though, just saying that the last 4 years, under what seemed like a worse economy, things were better, you know, which is crazy. One thing I try not to do, it happens every once in a while. Every once in a while, you know, things get a little bit political. It's not just one item. I'm not gonna get into it like crazy. Like, yeah. Groceries are most definitely cheaper, absolutely. Have grocery prices gone down? Overall, grocery prices have not gone down. They remain higher. See, that's not true. I don't think that. I can see that prices are lower where I am. I don't know, maybe that, no, I'm not living in a fantasy land. See, that's the problem. Why, when you disagree with someone, why do you have to say they're living in a fantasy land or say or character attack? You know, that's one reason I don't talk politics, because I can say something and someone, rather than expressing a good point, they say that I'm living in fantasy land, or they say that I'm living in this or that. But I can tell you just from experience that I do think I see things being a little cheaper. But the problem is when you disagree with someone, or when you make a point, someone has to tell you that you're living in fantasy land, or they have to character attack you. And that's one reason why I don't really ever talk politics, is because, you know, people don't stick to the subject. People stick to people character attack. You know, and they get rude. They don't stick to the actual topic. You know, I don't know. Anyway, it depends on where you live. Other states might be higher. California, Hawaii. Yeah, I think Missouri is actually, where I live, Missouri seems cheaper, honestly. No, those are your facts. Those are your truths, but they're not necessarily mine. Something's going on with TikTok. He mad. See, that's another thing that dumbass people do. They say things like, he mad. Do I even look mad here? Like, seriously, you're so stupid, Mannix. He mad. You know, I'm not even going to pay attention to the comment sections over on TikTok, because half the people posting comments are just idiots. Bots and shit. I don't know. I'm telling you that from someone who has... Errol, you might have to do that. You're having the same problems right now that, you're having the same problems that, that Sylvia did yesterday. See, I just don't understand why people can't have conversations without saying things like, he's mad, or he's living in fantasy land, or he's this, or he's that. Just, how about just talk and express points instead of like trying to make fun of the person or trying to... No, I'm definitely not mad. You can't tell me what emotions I'm feeling. I'm just gonna... Mannix, you're just in here being a troll. I'm blocking you. Goodbye. Yeah, you should be able to. All right. All I'm saying is that gas prices and things were higher over the last 4 years. It seemed to me, and it seemed like people were supporting and subbing and donating more whenever things seemed higher. I'm in Rhode Island. Grocery prices are still high, but then again, state's cost of living is incredible. I think he's trolling because it depends on where you live for prices. Yeah, that's definitely true. The New England states are always going to be more expensive for everything, unfortunately. Thank you again, Michael Wallace. I appreciate that, man. Like, at least add to the conversation instead of putting something like, he mad. Spazzington, thank you for the 500 jewels. Appreciate that. If I could think straight right now, I could probably pose better arguments, but at the same time, I'm really stressed right now. Well, we're not even a year into things yet, but I think one thing that is good is when I was in school, I don't know about you guys, but when I was in school, I learned that tariffs were a good thing. You know, that's what I learned. I learned that they were a good thing, and we shouldn't be taxed into oblivion like we are. You know, we are absolutely being taxed into oblivion, and that's the whole point of tariffs eventually, is to take the tax off of us and put the taxes onto, like, you know, one thing that bothers me is, like, Canada has a 245% tariff on eggs. You know, they did. Why are they allowed to charge us 245% on something, but then we couldn't tariff everybody else? So, like, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I think things take a while to change. You know, if someone spends 4 years destroying a room, it's going to take time to clean up, you know, especially when you have a whole, I don't know. I just wish things would go back to how they were. That's all. New York life, it's always time for the donut scene. Oh man, Boston is really making it harder to live. Rhode Island was low at a point, but ever since people moving to Providence, cost of living is so high. Boston, it's really increased rent in states. That sucks. Chris, what's up with the okay ... I don't really understand what you're... Yeah, I mean... So, Chris, what I was how it all started was I was just talking about how I'm doing really terrible this month. And how I don't understand how over the last 4 years, when we had higher prices than ever before, I was, you know, people were donating and supporting way more. And now that it seems like, you know, things are somewhat cheaper, you know, I'm not, you know, like it's, I don't know. And it's just crazy to me. That's all I'm saying. For sure. Exactly. That's what tariffs do. They make it to where less of the brunt is falling on the consumer. Right. Exactly, Errol. It's kind of hard to avoid sometimes, you know, like sometimes it is okay to talk about what's going on in the world with while keeping a neutral opinion, you know, but I guess maybe I grew up in a time when you could talk about it between everyone, whether you were Republican or Democrat or whatever, you know, you could discuss it with people and then still go crank a beer together, you know? So I'm discussing it from a neutral point of view. Just trying to explain why I think it's weird that during a time in this world when things seemed more expensive than ever before, donations were coming in more than ever before. And now that, to me, you know, like, I mean, you guys got to admit, eggs is one of the first thing I bring up, because that was one of the biggest things for a while. You know, that was one of the biggest things talked about for a long time, is egg prices. And they tried to blame it on, you know, the person in office now. And when in fact it was like a bird flu that killed, you know, that killed like 1 million chickens. But I'll tell you this: Walmart, pack of 60 eggs. So a great value count of 60 eggs. Let's see how much that is at Walmart right now. It looks like it's 60 eggs for $10 less at Walmart. So 60 eggs is like $20 right now. 60 egg pack, Walmart. Let's see what 60 eggs goes for at Walmart now, if you just wanted to go buy 60 eggs. I don't care about your Black Friday deals, Walmart. $10. $9.99 for 60 eggs. I'm telling you, where I live, who's buying a pack of 60 eggs? Me. 7 people in this house. Whether you go local for eggs or not, that's not the point, Errol. The point is what I'm talking about is that, you know, what I'm seeing lower prices at my grocery stores. That's all I'm saying. Hey, what's up, Nick? Thank you. Right. No, I understand that, but there was also an egg hike price when Biden was in office, and that was not due to that. You know, but then they tried to blame the current president for the egg hike prices, but it wasn't his fault. It was the bird flu. And then you never heard them, go back and correct and say,
you're awesome,
you know,
as always, Ad. Ha ha ha, hey, I tell, to pay for pap stars.
yeah, you can buy packs of 60 eggs. Mm-hmm. Yep, much better prices under T-Man now compared. Right. So I'm not just crazy. I mean, I have a family of 7. I have 5 kids. We buy a lot of food. We have to really make sure of what we buy. So my whole point initially was what I was trying to represent is that all this inflation has made me a smarter consumer. Fuck yeah, Errol. Absolutely. Yeah, I have 5 kids we went let me show you something real quick. Here was one breakfast for us just the other day. One breakfast for 7 kids. We just had a simple, you know, we had 14 eggs the other day just for breakfast. You know, like, and eggs are really, really good for you too. And then we had some steak, and the steak that we bought was a $10 4-pack of Angus beef steaks. You know, they were just simple little. Only 14, said Errol. We made she makes some scrambled, and then we had steak along with that. So yeah, that was our generation, right, Chris? That's right. So no, honestly, I'm up in my feelings today. Okay, and I don't care who says I'm mad. If you're gonna heckle me about me being mad, I'm going to ban you. That's just it. I'm not mad today. I'm just up in my feelings because I feel like part of my, you know, I'm seeing something that I've, you know, I'm just I can't even put it into sentences right now. So I'm just trying everything. I'm trying to do what I can before I start going out. I understand today was my first day off of peak season, and it was insane. Yeah, you work hard, Chris. Errol, if your stars aren't working, bud, close Facebook and reopen it, or clear the cache and try joining the stream a different way. Try joining the stream to where you like scroll down the timeline. Thank you. And I even talking about presidents, I'm not getting political one way or the other. You can, if it was a Republican president who did terrible, I would say get that piece of shit out of there. If it was a Democrat president who did terrible, I'd say get that piece of shit out of there. You know, I'm not going, you know, I'm not saying one way or the other. I can look through I can look through all sorts of different lenses, you know, and not just be trapped on one side, you know. But that's from, you know, just trying to be open-minded, you know. But here is just, I'm just trying to have a neutral conversation about how things were at one point and how they just don't seem that way anymore. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, definitely just up in my feelings today. That's all. I'm trying not to be, but it's just hard to get out of bed some mornings. Right, Sylvia, but there was another thing that happened during the prior presidency to where eggs were high, and it was not because of any kind of bird flu or anything. It was, you know, it was due to just fucking inflation, man. I don't know. Morning, Skeptic. How you doing? Yeah, thank you, Chris. It looks like Errol's just having trouble sending them, he said. So I was just trying to see if anybody, you know, my normal, thank you, Chris, but my normal spiel of, you know, whose stars are good, whose are not. Yeah, Mapstain says he's noticed a significant difference, a decrease in grocery prices and and egg prices. Yes, and some people may not have. But it's also going to be state by state, you know. Hey, thank you. Right. But there was another thing that happened. That was the most recent thing, Nick. They were all the chickens were unfortunately killed because, thank you, Errol. What happened? What was the problem, Errol?
Problem fixed.
Awesome. Was it what I said to close and reopen and enter the stream a different way? What upsets me is when people start character attacking, when they say things like Fantasyland, or they say things like, it's just, you know, you can't just automatically discount what someone's saying just because you I don't know, like, I think there's so much wrong with doing that, you know, like you could really learn a lot from people who you disagree with. You did what I said. Excellent. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, there's good. You fixed it. Michael Wallace, are you in the US, or are you somewhere else? I'm just curious. Let's see here. Oh, you're in Canada, huh? Interesting. We have a lot of great Canadian viewers. A lot of super awesome Canadian viewers, man. I swear, like Canadian viewers are probably a fourth of my income. Seriously. I love my Canadian viewers so much. I appreciate that, James. Yeah, some asshole over on TikTok was telling me I live in Fantasyland just because of what I'm saying, and it's like, no, I don't live in Fantasyland. I'm talking from experience, and it's not just anecdotal. You know, I'm talking from someone who has, you know, 5 kids, and, you know, has to watch every fucking penny, you know? I mean, we literally save our pennies, man. I mean, we save our pennies like crazy. You know, what's up, John? Who knows? Anyway, my whole point was I don't understand how I was doing better when prices were higher in the world. That's all. Yeah, we live in reality and use facts and logic. Hey, Canadian neighbor from Michigan. You live in Winnipeg? I'm just north of North Dakota. Okay, so you're like just barely outside of the US then. That's awesome. Yeah. I want to be friends with everybody. I mean, honestly, I don't care if you have blue hair, brown hair. I don't care if you have a nose ring. I don't care if you know, vote differently than I do. I don't care if you like football, hate football. I don't care if you like Biden, like Trump, hate Trump. You know, I don't care. You know, I want to be friends with everyone. You know, and I think, honestly, like, I don't know. I tried to find things that I liked about Biden, even though I didn't agree with him, because, you know, I mean, like, you know, we don't want our country to fail. You know, at the end of the day, we want whoever is running our country to succeed, you know, because that'd be like hoping the pilot of the plane that you're on, you know, fails, you know. I mean, just because you disagree with someone. I don't know. So that was my whole point, though, is that, I just don't. I just look back and I think about like how high like gas prices during the prior president got up to like almost $5 here in Missouri, and that's insane. You know, it was like $4.25 at one point. I know that's almost not almost $5, but for me it was. You know, I mean, from where it is now, it was closer to 5 than it is, because right now it's closer to, you know, if 250 was your marker, you know, and right now prices are, you know, 4.25 would obviously be closer to 5. So that was my justification when I say, you know, but someone's going to be like, 4.25 isn't close to 5. That's closer to 4. Well, that's not my point. My middle point was 250. You know, 250 is, I think, where gas prices should be. Thank you, Errol. For those who are watching right now, I just want to let you know this is rarely ever the topic of conversation. Normally the topic of conversation is pop culture, fun, comics, games, movies, TV shows. But sometimes I guess sometimes my mental bubble bursts and I can't hold in my emotional thoughts anymore on, you know, because it's doing this. And if you've ever, I don't know if anybody's ever built up a successful social media, it's not easy, you know. It may seem easy, you know, turn on the camera, sit in front of the camera, talk. Cool. You know, the processes are easy, the steps are easy, breaking it down and putting it on paper is easy. You know, you can break it down and put it on paper really easily, you know. Turn on phone, go live, talk to people. You know, you can break it down easy on paper, but actually like being consistent, getting on every single day, talking with people, building relationships, you know, like getting to the point where you have people coming back and watching you regularly. I mean, like it is not something that is easy to do in a whole, and for years on end, you know. And unless you're, you know, some young guy who plays Call of Duty who got lucky as fuck immediately and has, you know, 10,000 people watching him every time. I don't understand why people like watching PUBG Mobile or Call of Duty or anything like that. I don't know. I don't get it. So I do try to keep the conversation relatively positive for the most part all the time, but sometimes my mental levee breaks, I guess, and I start getting up in my feelings about, you know, how did I, you know, once average retro all day. You know, how did I once average, you know, so much per day? And I don't know. It just it's depressing. That's all. Nice, Chris. I don't remember much. I've been, if I've been to Michigan, but I've been to Minnesota. Minnesota, don't you know? Yeah. Well, I do really appreciate the people who do still show up and come in and hang out and support. I can't thank you guys enough. I just worry and wonder sometimes. You know, it seemed like for the prior 5 years, I never had to worry if I was going to do okay on a month, you know? Love your show. Thank you, Niall. Hold on, buddy. Hold on, everybody. Back to the whole, like, telling someone they're in Fantasyland or whatever. That just bothers me. You know, like, I would never, like, in a conversation with someone, if I disagreed, the first thing I'm going to do is not, you know, discount what they're saying. You know, even if I disagree, like, my first thoughts aren't going to be like, well, this guy's in Fantasyland. That's a tactic. You know, that's a tactic to, it's a tactic of dismissal, you know, to basically to say you're an idiot, nothing you say makes sense. You know, it's a tactic, and it's a terrible tactic, rather than actually, you know, thinking about what the person said and responding, you know, with a response. But I hate the tactic of character attacking or belittling or discounting in conversation. It's a terrible tactic, and people do it all the time, and it happens on both the left and the right. It happens on both sides, and it's sad that, you know, you can't, you know, like, oh well, you know, you can't just disagree because of your point. You have to, you know, I don't know. It's a terrible tactic.
Thanks for the follow.
I've been trying to eat less bread lately, but I got a big pack of full fluffy croissants yesterday. Oh man, croissants are delicious. Fortina made some sourdough bread, and I ate a big hunk of sourdough bread. It is ignorance. It is, Errol. You know, it's just like, why, you know, like, why do you, that's why so many people live in information silos now. Right. That's true. Hey, what's up, Ray? How you doing? Oh, I actually didn't get hit there. I always get hit there. So basically what I was talking about is that, just initially, for those who are wondering, support, like stars coming in or super chats coming in has been way down comparatively. Like if I were to look at, like this year, this month, there's been $852 in stars that has come in to this, at this point this month. But last year, let's look at last year. There you go. You can barely see it. Let's see here. So right now we're looking at what, November 2025. We're at total, we're at just stars, we're at 856. But if we were to go to last year, November, and we're at the 19th right now. I had $1,000 more in stars come in last year at this point. So by this point last year, I was already sitting at 1,800 for the month. So that's kind of why I'm like, you know, sitting here just kind of wondering if it's, you know, if it's something I did, you know. You represent an alpha style personality trait. You block ignorance whilst I walk away from it. What, buddy? So, blame the eggs. Yeah, but that's my point, Phoenix, is what I'm saying is that during the last 4 years when things were higher priced than ever, you know, I had an insurgence of support, you know. It's like it just was coming in like crazy, you know, like it seemed like I was you know, always averaging about $100 a day or more, you know. And it seems like I don't know, like my bad days were like 50 or 60 and my good days were 100 or 200 or 300, you know. Hey, I'm glad it's working now. You know what messed it up, unfortunately, so bad is we had a whole bunch of...
It's working now. Victory lol.
Thank you. Had a whole bunch of star issues last year. The beginning of this year. The beginning of this year was, I think, it pushed a lot of people away. Like last year I had an issue around last year around like July or August, like the star icon just disappeared for like 2 months. Who remembers that? It disappeared for everyone. No one could receive or send or anything. Does anyone remember that? Yeah, well, oh man, I don't need your nothing lasts forever analogies. This is gonna last forever, damn it. This is different than a geyser. Let's see, your analogy still doesn't make the situation accurate. Let's see here. So yeah, so last we had that issue. Errol, that's what all those children of yours need to be paying rent. That's funny. I think it's because my old debit card was stolen and it fucked up my oh gotcha, okay, that sucks. Thank you, Errol. So I forget what I was saying. I appreciate that. Understandable, Skeptic. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. Also, you have that nasty alcohol habit, which probably costs a lot of money too, unfortunately. Alcohol is a poison, man. Did you know alcohol is actually named after a demon, Alcool? And they say that when you drink, you're actually inviting those spirits into you. And when you black out drunk, you're basically possessed, essentially. You're possessed by the demon Alkul, and that's why you don't remember, and you basically, your spirit leaves your body, and you essentially, like, this is just what people speculate. This is not me saying this is what happens, this is what's true. I'm just telling you what I have read and discovered about, you know, why they call it spirits, and, you know, why you might feel the way that you do. Like, basically, you know, like when you drink heavy, you purge your body, you know, just like you do like when you unalive, you know, and you know, you have to, I don't know, yeah, drinking to me nowadays is honestly kind of scary. I don't really like it. I think it's dangerous. It's terrible for your liver, you know, even if you're skinny. Oh man, let's see. Even if you don't black out, I'm just saying, like, even when you drink, even if you don't black out, you're inviting those spirits in, you know. Oh, I'm just saying things I've read that I think are interesting, by the way. But yeah, no, I mean, even if someone, did you guys know that even if someone's like really skinny, like looks in perfect health, if they drink a lot, they can have tons of fat around their organs and stuff like that. Like, your organs you can look perfectly healthy on the outside, but if you drink a lot, then your organs will be really fatty and nasty and terrible and won't function properly. And it's expensive. Man, alcohol is alcohol. I mean, everything's okay in moderation, including moderation, you know? I've just been doing a lot of research lately on different things. Wish I could remember more of what I if I remembered everything I researched, that'd be great. They still achieve the same thing, Sylvia. No matter if they're lower in alcohol content, you still eventually can get to the same point. Doesn't really matter, you know. But I understand what you're saying. I mean, you're not wrong. Those are you know, facts as well. They are lower in alcohol than spirits. You're right. You know, that's, if you're just stating that as a fact, yes, that's correct. And this, by the way, I'm not against it. I drank a lot. I used to play for a drinking kickball league. So, you know, drinking is something that I very much enjoyed for a very long time. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you, Errol. Thank you, Rico.
Break time at work. Nice to see ya.
Nice to see you too, Rico. Rico, I'm just having a bitch fest right now.
I stopped drinking. Every Waterloo I drink, I pray that one might actually have tequila in it.
Oh man. That's funny. Tequila was always something that made me very either sick or angry. I was having a moment this morning. I'm feeling better now that I've vented, though. I feel like it is good to you know, to, I don't know, get it off my chest, I guess. But then you have trolls on TikTok who come in and try to tell you that you're an idiot or that you're in fantasy land for thinking the way you are, which I think is just rude. And then, like, oh god, and then they're like typing shit like, he mad. It's like, no, you can be passionate about something without being mad. You know, I don't know. Fucking idiots. You're loving the vent? Good. My vent was basically as I feel like I guess not everybody is experiencing cheaper prices like we are in Missouri, unfortunately. And so that's and unfortunately that's what happens when you have, you know, states that are like Illinois right now is getting screwed. I would hate to live in Illinois right now. Their property taxes just doubled and tripled. So try to tell someone things are cheaper in Illinois, they'll laugh at you, you know. Hey Patrick, how you doing? Patrick Keller, welcome in. You know, so I understand I'm not going to tell someone they're wrong because they think things are more expensive, because, you know, anecdotally things probably are more expensive where there are, you know. But for me, you know, in Missouri, you know, like Missouri is relatively cheap, you know. Washington state is bad, yeah, I mean, no offense, but Washington's ran by idiots, you know. It's ran by people who would rather see the country fail to get what they want than, you know, to actually try to make things better, unfortunately, you know. So when you're willing to make, you know, I don't know, when you're willing to make the like here, this whole last shutdown that we had, I mean, you had, whether you're Republican or Democrat, you had 52 Republicans voting to open the government, and you had all the Democrats voting to push it down. But then they were blaming the Republicans for the shutdown, yet as soon as the government was reopened, the Democrats were blaming the Democrats for giving in. So wait, so the Democrats were mad that other Democrats gave in and opened the government. So basically the Democrats were holding their own people essentially hostage. Like, we're gonna until it's like a kid saying, I'm not cleaning my room until this happens. You mean you're gonna tell me that you're gonna make it to where all these people can't eat because you can't get your bill passed? You know, but then the people who everybody says are the worst people, like I live in a conservative state. You know, I do. I live in a conservative state. You know, Missouri is mostly conservative, and our state's pretty cheap. And unfortunately, you do notice that, you know, most places that are ran democratically are ran really terrible, and they're very expensive. And most places that are ran, you know, under conservative rule are typically cheaper. You know, it just is what it is. You know, I don't know. So, but what I was saying though is under the last 4 years, things were cheaper, you know, or things were more expensive. You know, things were way more expensive over the last 4 years, and more support. I didn't scold you, Rico. I don't scold anybody. I try to, for the most part, keep the channel away from it. But what I was talking about this morning was that things are so slow this month, and I don't scold anybody. I just try to keep, for the most part, politics out of the channel. But you know, I do try to stick to. I try to keep it zero politics for the most part. But this morning I was having a vent session about how I feel like I was doing better with donations and subscriptions under the last 4 years, and things were more expensive. And then now that things seem cheaper to me, you know, my donations and subscriptions are you know, so that's all I'm saying. So Rico, if you felt scolded, I apologize. Sometimes I try to nip it in the bud real quickly. So my thought process is unfortunately sometimes if something gets brought up, then it's going to snowball, and more people are going to talk about it. But if I nip it in the bud and try to get back to just general conversation, So it's not that I'm scolding, it's that I'm just trying to stop the conversation as a whole before it happens. But and other times I just don't care because I have to get what's off my chest. And right now I just feel like, once again, like, what? I don't understand what you're saying, Sylvia. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I never, it's never my intention to be rude. I get heightened really easily. Unfortunately, I do have extreme anxiety as what it's categorized as, and sometimes my anxiety picks up really quickly, faster than I can maintain it. And a lot of times I go back and I delete these streams too, because I don't want, sometimes I just have to get it off my chest because I once again, I feel like over the last 4 years when things were higher priced, more donos were coming in, and now that it seems to me like things are lower priced, I meant your approach was totally acceptable and you did redirect to avoid issues. It's all good. Thank you. I'm saying we all have different issues. I mean, it's not good to bring politics into a chat. Nothing against you, A to D. I'm just trying to be positive. I appreciate your positivity, and normally I don't. I follow that too. You seem completely normal to me. We are all loving what you're saying. Well, I'd say majority of us, and I try to keep it really neutral, for the most part. Is Painkiller any good? Looks like it's a cool FPS. Painkiller is like demonic Serious Sam, and that's not a bad thing. It's imagine if Doom and Serious Sam had a baby, and that would be Painkiller. Schlog Dogs has agreed. Oh shit. And no, I wasn't really super trying to get political. All I was saying is that no, Rico. I just honestly, Rico, here's the problem is last year at this time I had $1,000 more in donations than I do this year. From the year 2020 to 2025, I was averaging, 3,000 to 5,000 in donations every month. And now I'm probably averaging 2,000 to 2,700 a month basically, and at some points possibly less. Like this month it looks like it's going to be less. So my whole point was I don't understand why I'm doing worse when it seems like things are possibly a little better. Because when I was doing my best, when I had my best month, we were at the height of COVID and no one was working. People were at home. People were, at home on their, and that's probably it too. But at the same time, like if people were home, how did they have the income to support like that? That's what I'm wondering. And now with people being at work, it just is mind-boggling that there was more income to support when the world was shut down for a minute, and then I don't know. Does that make any sense? It's just I'm just trying to squeeze the logic out of it. You have a green light? That's so cool, buddy. You work your ass off, Rico. You do what you can when you can, brother. I appreciate it. We're living the life what you preach in one way or another. Not loving, but yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, that's because people were getting unemployment checks. You think so? That's what it was? Stimulus? I don't think there was any stimuluses because I ain't seen shit. Oh man. I'm just trying to hold on to this is all. No. Don't do that. Don't do that, Rico. Rico, no, it's okay, buddy. I'm not, no. If you want to do anything, just send stars, good sir. But I want to tell you guys this. I have food. I'm not broke. I have food. I'm not broke. I have a roof over my head. My kids all have snacks for school. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm not, you know, I just want the flow to continue. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm not begging. I'm not hurting. You know, I'm just, you know, if I had to pay $1,000 for something right now, I have the means in my bank to where I could. I'm not hurting. But what I'm bothered about is just the fact that, you know, I'm making so much less this year than I did last year. That is where I'm at. So I'm not begging. I'm not asking for cash apps. I'm not asking for Apple Pays. If people want to support, send stars or send super chats. I'm not trying to sit here and say, oh, woe is me. My kids have food. I have eggs in my fridge. I have milk. I have cereal. I have food to feed my kids. I have a roof over my head. My car payment's paid. My mortgage is paid. You know, I'm not sitting here trying to have a sob story. I'm just wondering, how the hell was I making 2 to 3 to 4, you know, you're upset that, yeah. Exactly. I'm bothered that, and I think a lot of it, thank you, Rico, appreciate you, dude. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, unfortunately, like I was saying before, Facebook had a lot of issues with stars last year, and they had a lot of issues with stars this year too. And I think a lot of people who supported with stars left during that point. And I've been very lucky to where when we have issues, people typically came back. Like I was in 2021, I had been doing this for almost 2 years full time, and my page got demonetized. You know, it was terrible. Like, I had to suddenly go from making, I'm sorry, Rico. I don't know why either, because I have, if you notice, look at this, Rico. Look, I have, my metrics right there are solid lines. You know, I don't know why you're getting, you know, that's my stream metrics right there. That's my internet, 4.5 megabits per second. And it's pretty much been a solid maybe 4.7 to 4.3 megabits per second the whole stream. So I don't understand why. It's unfortunately probably a Facebook issue. Unfortunately, Lady J, you're awesome. I appreciate your comment, your content. So I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. Like, that's not what I'm trying to express here. You know, I'm just flustered. It'd be like if you owned a donut shop, you know, and, you know, last year you sold, freaking 10,000 donuts, and you're like, well, this year, why am I only selling 4,000 donuts? What did I do? You know, I don't know. Anyway. Thank you, Rico, for the support. It's the old man who said that. What's up, Thomas? How are you? So my main point is I just don't understand how things were better when, to me, it seemed like everything was higher in the world. That's all. And also, too, I think a lot of it, again, had to do with, I am certainly not the greatest streamer ever. I appreciate you, but no, I honestly, like, dude, people with PUBG, people who play PUBG Mobile are obviously better streamers than I am, because they have hundreds of people watching. I appreciate that, but it's just not realistic. But you're awesome. If you think that, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. but I know that's not true. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sylvia. You want what, buddy? Do you want more cereal? Yes? Okay. Okay. You want it inside? You want the Captain Crunch again? Yes. I love his yes. Oh man. You know, I guess it's been building up for days now. This whole event that I'm having. And I hope that no matter which way you vote, you know, if you vote Republican or you vote Democrat, you know, I hope you still decide to come in here regardless, because I don't care one way or the other. You know, like one of our most amazing viewers, Sylvia, is trans, you know, and she's awesome. You know, she's amazing. So I don't, you know, and most people think that, you know, someone who would think like me, you know, wouldn't be accepting of that, but you know, I am. I grew up in the time of the 80s to where, you know, your voting, how you voted didn't matter. It was who you are and how you treat people. You know, so I grew up very much during a time when hey, thank you, Rico. I appreciate you, man. Have a good one, brother. I'm gonna pin your comment for a little bit. Thank you. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Thanks, dude. You love old school Mario, Lady J? So yeah, I wasn't trying to make it a political thing. I was more just trying to talk about the economy as a whole and how I feel like things were better dono-wise whenever we had a worse economy, and I just don't understand how. But again, I do have to fairly keep in mind that not everybody's state and cost of living is going to be as cheap as ours is here. Like Missouri is thankfully very cheap. You know, Missouri is, you know, like we can get, you know, it's gas is under $3, and you know, things are not super duper expensive. So I wasn't trying to get political. More or less, I was just trying to talk about the state of the economy and how I feel like when the economy was worse, more donations were coming in, and that just boggles my mind is all, you know? That's it. My kiddo wants some cereal. I'll be right back, everybody.
going to fall.
Yeah, it is going to fall. You're right.
No, it's not.
No, it's not? Okay, well then you're right there too.
It's right up there.
Yeah?
What? How that Whitney's going to have them?
He's gonna find him. Let's see here. I mean, Sylvia, you watch my channel a lot. I mean, wouldn't you think that I do keep them limited? I mean, Sylvia, are you? I mean, you watch my. I mean, I would. I don't really know how to put this, I guess, but wouldn't you agree that 90% of the time I do keep politics and religion like out of the stream and out of the conversation? I mean, if you don't agree, that's fine, but I would say that, you know, majority of people would agree with that. Fair. Okay. So, well then I'm not really I mean, yeah, I think I agree with you. And I do that. For sure. So I'm just venting. Every once in a while I vent. Agree, I know you do. Thank you, Imran. Appreciate that. You don't and you know, Imran's not even here super often, which is okay too, you know. So I just recently stumbled upon the Dragon Quest anime. It's a little corny, but it's, you know, most animes are a little corny and full of melodrama. But that's okay. I am sorry for it, for those who don't like that conversation at all, because I get it. I try to keep it really far away from the streams, but every once in a while, you know, unfortunately we're surrounded by it, you know. We are surrounded by it. Every day. It's like you can't escape it. You go on your phone, you go onto YouTube, even my whole gaming section. If I go to YouTube gaming right now, let's just go to YouTube real quick and click the gaming thing at the top. What am I gonna see? The first thing I'm gonna see is meltdown, outrage over the casting from Zelda from the they thems, you know, and then the next thing I see is the Game Award situation is insane due to politics, you know, and then there's more Zelda meltdown information. They're mad because they didn't choose a certain actress, or, you know, I mean, like even games, unfortunately, nowadays are totally inundated with politics, you know. I mean, we had a company, you know, you have Sweet Baby Inc. who is trying to, you know, infest politics into everything, identity politics into everything, so it's really hard to escape, and I think I do a fucking good job trying to stay away from it. But every once in a while, like, I just, you know, unfortunately venting, you know. Thank you so much, I appreciate the compliment on saying I make Mario 3 look easy. Thank you for that. You know, we are surrounded by it, so I think I do a pretty good job of trying to create a space where we don't talk about it. But man, I tell you what, when my income is way lower than normal, and I think about how more was coming in when financially the nation was in a worse situation, I don't know, you know. I was disappointed about Castlevania movie. I was hoping, I see, you know, I'll quit talking about what I'm talking about. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point. Thank you for listening. I hope some of you understand where I'm coming from. I'll get on to some different subjects. I don't, you know, I've always kind of been, I don't care to have the games that I play made into movies. I want original stories when it comes to movies, but companies are too afraid to make, hey, but I gotta run, brother. You rock my G. You do you. Do not be discouraged by the valley of despair. Thank you, Errol. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you. Take care, Rico. Oh, real quick, the actress that is playing Impa in Zelda movie was an obscure actress from the 100. I got excited when I recognized her. Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. I like when they do that. Thank you, Errol. Big thanks to Rico, too. Oh, man. No. No, man, I thought I had that. Not making it look easy anymore. Now that I've died, let's warp. Oh, man. I don't know. I guess I'm a little I'm just up in my feelings today, y'all. I won't lie. Yesterday was a very, very low day. I mean, I don't know. Very, very low support day. Like we've almost, believe it or not, made more stars just this morning than we did all day yesterday. Horror, you know, I used to really like horror movies, but I can't get into them as much anymore these days. Phil Kovacs, I appreciate you being here too. Phil's always here. Maybe I need some good old co-op gaming this afternoon. Who knows? And I've probably lost, you know, whenever you talk about that stuff, you unfortunately risk losing a viewer or two, but typically you end up gaining a viewer or two. So, you know, it's a give or take. You're not gonna please everybody, unfortunately. You sometimes get hated for no reason doing this, you know. I think every day I have someone coming in trying to, you know, hate on me just because I'm on camera and I'm an easy target and maybe their hot pocket was cold. I don't know. Hey, Tony Bennett, good to see you, man. Here we go. Streaming is like the restaurant business, fickle. Yeah, no, that's so true. It really is. I oftentimes compare streaming to a donut shop, you know? Like whenever I see, like whenever we had that recent situation where things were changing on Facebook and they were getting rid of the, you know, the level up program and people were like, stars are going away. I'm like, no, they're not going away. They're just changing how, you know, things are done. They're putting everything under one umbrella rather than having, you know, all these different programs, which is a good thing, I think. But we had all these freakouts, man, and so many people leaving, you know, Facebook. And unfortunately, when I see a bunch of people leaving Facebook, it's like, peace out, you know, goodbye. I'm sorry. You know, if you had 4 donut shops on a street and one of those donut shops left, do you think the other 3 donut shops are going to be sad because that donut shop left? Maybe they like the person, you know, maybe they, you know, but at the same time, they're going to be happy because those people who once chose, you know, another person's donut shop are now going to have to make a decision to go to a different one, and someone's got to pick up that business, you know. So that's the way I think of it whenever I see streamers leaving Facebook. It's like, well, cool. The people who, you know, there's going to be some people who follow you, and there's going to be a lot of people who don't, you know, because it's just the fact. It's like, at one point I tried to make a full transition to Twitch, and I think like 10% of the people who watched followed over, and it did not work. And that was during the time when I was telling you guys a little bit ago about how when I got my channel taken away from me in 2000, like I still have a channel that's just dead, like it's gone. I used to have a channel called ADD Gamer, and that channel got screwed. You know, and it almost happened to this channel, but luckily I had a membership. I have a membership with Facebook that is like, it's a program where I can actually get a hold of someone and talk to someone on the phone if I need to. It's the Meta Verified or whatever. But and anybody can get it. I have it on 2 profiles, but I wish I would have had that back then, because I probably could have saved my channel. I probably still could save it, honestly, I guess now, you know, but I'd have to, it would, who knows. Like, I would like to get that channel saved and verified, honestly, eventually. But yeah, so there was a 3 or 4 month period where like I had been doing this for 2 years full time already. And there was like a 4 month period where I didn't have any way to make anything except for PayPal. And that time really sucked too, because Cortina had just moved here and she was pregnant with Lucas, and like we had just moved here under the contention that, you know, I'm streaming full time and everything's gonna be fine. And then 10 days after she moves here, it's like, oh shit, I just lost my channel and my income now. And then I went to, and I basically I had to live off of PayPal for a few months, you know, like people were supporting specifically through PayPal. There was no way to send anything. I didn't have another channel, and so I tried to start a Twitch, and I remember I was sponsored by Beef Jerky Outlet at the time too. That was a tough time. So at least this time, knock on wood, is not as tough as that. What the fuck? I have this Skippy peanut butter bar right here from the Dollar Tree. Tony Bennett, the reason why I'm rehashing it is because I'm saying that like right now I'm going through a tough time, and donations and everything are very low, and at one point they were very high, and I just went on a big spiel about it. Unfortunately, what I'm saying is, what my point was is that every time there was a big problem, the community always came back. You know, like when I lost my page and had to live off PayPal for a few months, the community sort of supported me on PayPal, and it just seems like with these last few issues with Facebook, like over the last year and a half, it seems like a lot of people got really mad with Facebook's issues finally, and just decided to leave, you know, basically, and not support anyone anymore. Because there are people who used to support like crazy on Facebook who I don't see on here at all anymore. Oh, Dollar Tree chocolate. Dollar Tree is amazing. Dollar Tree has some of the best food, honestly. Well, not some of the best food, but some of the best cheap little items. You can't eat peanut butter, you're allergic? That was my impression of Phil. I'm just going through a tough time right now is all. You know, last year there was I don't know. It just seemed like for 5 years donations were high. You know, 3,000 to 5,000 was coming in every month in donos, and you know, I'm just having trouble. I'm you know, it's just the donations are very low this year, and I've noticed it's not just for me. Some other channels who I watch, who I usually am right around the same area, are low as well. You know, channels that I notice are usually making a lot more are on the lower end too. So it doesn't seem to just be me. It seems to be widespread. It's a widespread. Less people are donating than they were. You know, so close your eyes and open wider. When is my birthday? July 10th. Did you guys ever see that one girl online? She was like doing a reel or a short, and she stuck the banana in her throat, and then she tried to pull the banana out, and it like the banana like broke off, and then all of a sudden you saw her like freak out and try to grab the camera, and then it went to a gray screen and said wasted. Has anybody seen that video? It was like a blonde girl trying to make it look like she was gonna, you know, yeah. Yeah, there was a girl online who was basically showing that she could, you know, take something deep in the throat, and when she tried to pull the banana out, it broke off, and the banana got stuck in her throat, and all of a sudden. It was a 30-second video. It was look what I can do. Oh fuck. And then turned off the camera, but before she turned off the camera, it did like a gray Grand Theft Auto wasted screen. And so I wonder if she's okay. That's all I'm wondering. Like, did the girl from the reel where she choked on the banana, did she make it? You know, I want to know. Like, there's probably someone out there who does deep dive video content on the banana choking girl. Anybody seen that video? I know it's not. I know I'm not the only one who saw it. Let me look it up. I know, Ray. I know. Terrible, right? Let's see here. Girl who chokes on banana in real. Let's see here. I'm just gonna, maybe I'll just type in banana wasted. Banana wasted. Banana wasted. Banana choke wasted. I don't know. It's probably gonna, let's see, banana. That's not choke. I wonder if the video got taken down. Like if the girl unfortunately didn't live, the video might have gotten taken down. You know, that's a possibility too. Let's see. Unfortunately, it was one of those videos that I saw, and it was over as quick as it was. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that was the video I remember. There's one when I follow a famous competitive eater and put stuff like hot dogs and bananas down her throat. Dude, I've seen that lady. The last thing she did was a big gummy bear, right? What's up, buddy?
Did I just start now?
What?
Start now?
Is your Switch charged? You're so adorable. Yes, buddy. Yeah, see, I don't know if it exists anymore. You felt sick, but the tea is helping? Good. Oh man. And I think Michael, that was the largest super chat I think I ever seen you send, man. Thank you so much again. Really appreciate it. Especially in this time where things are lower than they ever have been. I really appreciate it. But I guess when things get low, you can only go up, you know? So I don't know. I have a number in my bank account that when my bank account hits that number, I am going to, hey, thank you so much, Ori. I am going to start door dashing at night. So thank you so much, Ori. So like last month last month I put money away in the account, and unfortunately we had so many expenses that I had to borrow it all back, and I keep having to do that all year. I've tried to put money away, and every time I do, it seems like I have to pull it back out for some reason, you know? For some reason. I'll tell you that for some reason. It's 5 kids, 2 car payments, and a mortgage, you know? Thank you so much, Ori. But yeah. But I have a number in my head, and when my account gets to that number, that's when I will stop streaming at night and start door dashing. So, we're close. It's close. Thank you so much, Ori. You rock, man. But I mean, heck, if I could make, you know, you should stream GTA 6 when it comes out. You'll get all the donate. Oh man, hopefully. And I do want to say, like, there's still a lot of donos coming in, and I really super appreciate it. It's just not where it normally is, you know. Like normally, right now, I'd be at about 2,000 in dollars in the month, basically averaging around $100 a day. And right now, we're, you know, I'm just over 1,200 for the month in donations. So it's not like I'm doing awful, but at the same time, I'm not where I normally am, or around. I mean, there's been times by the 20th I've been at like close to 3K in donations for the month. So it's like, I just wonder, you know, where have all the cowboys gone? Where have all the cowboys? I hate that song, but I heard it in Red Robin the other day. I would imagine too, probably me having to borrow stuff back sometimes is probably making dumb decisions too, like going out to eat, but you know, sometimes we feel like we are at home so much and we cook at home so much that sometimes we just want to go out and get a damn burger. You know what I mean? Or like we had an electric bill that was ridiculous this year. Just, I don't know. Thinking about turning my pool into a playground, filling that bitch up and putting a swing set on it, filling it up with dirt. We don't need a fucking pool, man. That's just expensive. The pool came with the house, by the way. It's not like I had a pool put in, because I would not have done that. Turn it into a fish pond. Or a natural frog area. Chris Frederick, you rock, ma'am. Oh, updates on a trip. I'm at my hotel in the mountains. There you go. We do have an in-ground pool. Yes. Thank you again, everybody, for the support.
Sir, have a banana. Thank you for the stars.
The conversation kind of took a political turn for a minute too, and I didn't really mean it to. Someone, and it's no big deal, but someone had brought up the economy or whatever, and I you know, kind of came back with, I feel like, you know, the economy, you know, my streaming was better, you know, my streaming income was better when the economy was worse, you know. If you fill the pool with dirt, you'll have a quicksand box. That's awesome. In-ground pools are rare here. Back home, the what? Oh, okay. It does good on the side hustle. When I was young, I asked my mom what Stockholm Syndrome meant, and my brother said it's when you stock up your house with all in your home. And my mother said, "You moron, that's hoarding." That's funny. Oh man. So yeah, the conversation went slightly political this morning. I didn't mean it to. It is what it is, though. It happens there. It happens here and there. And it's, I guess sometimes I forget that, once again, not every state, like, things seem cheaper here. Not every state's gonna be that way. This castle's all bricked up? Yeah, it is. Here we go. Oh, man. Just had an apple and a banana today, and I still feel like famished. Probably because I haven't had any meat or protein or anything like that. I'm so used to having bread. Which it's not like I'm giving up bread, but... Oh, man. I may eventually, though. How I went in the wall on that last level, there's a way to do it on this level and, like, skip the entire level. It's so funny how things change. A year ago, we were paying a car payment from TikTok funds, and then all of a sudden, like, the TikTok shutdown, whenever that happened, that changed everything for us, and we haven't really been able to recover the same. It was crazy for a while. Like I was having, you know, at least 20 a day come in on TikTok for a while. But also too, I don't like the percentage that TikTok gives versus the other platforms. Anyway, that's a can of worms for another day. Filipino food is pretty good. I really like Thai food. I haven't had Thai food in a long time. I never really used TikTok. When I heard it got shut down, my friends all over social media were freaking out, right? Well, I mean, yeah, I get you. I didn't start using it until a couple years ago, till Corinne started using it. She used it to stream on. Right. Yeah. Yeah, TikTok is cool. Just the amount that they give the creator per donation sucks. Like if someone sends, you know, like let's say someone sends 20, 2,000 diamonds on TikTok, the creator only gets 40% of that. But on YouTube, you at least get 70% of that, and on Facebook, you get, if someone buys stars, then they pay the initial fee, and then if like let's say you want to send, $25 in stars, you'll have to buy, it'll come out to around 22 is what you're able to send. So you still are able to send like 90% of what you purchased to be able to send, but on TikTok, they basically just like. They almost take everything. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, so right now, like I'm getting 40% is what it says. Which is terrible. It's a horrible ratio, right? Horrible. So if you guys are ever wondering what the best platform to support on, either going to be the tube or the book. That's why I haven't been on lately much, and I haven't been on Twitch much lately either. It seems like I always have one person watching over there who's never saying anything. Yeah, I went live on there today for fun, and I have one person over there just lurking like a motherfucker right now. Who even are you? Are you a bot or are you a real person who's lurking over there on TikTok? Not TikTok, but Twitch. Who are you? I bet it's a bot. On Twitch, are you a bot or no? I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to say something, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream over there. I'm not going to end on the other places, but I am going to end on Twitch, though. Possibly a bot? Yeah, right. It's not a tumor. Makes me wonder who's a bot and who's a real person. You could pretty much tell. Most bots are generally like new accounts. Bots will typically talk to people just replying, like they'll reply to comments rather than actually say something outright. I'll be right back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. All right. I'm back. I'm getting hungry. Here we go. At least I kept this. You know, I don't know. I feel bad about the conversation going slightly political this morning, but I do feel like it's important that a lot of you guys know where the channel stands, what I'm thinking, and what my hopes are for the future of the channel. We used to have a lot of people who would drop 100 or 200 on the channel a month, you know, like one person who, and I'm not calling anybody out, but I'm just saying people who used to support Big and don't anymore, you know, like we used to see, you know, like I love Aaron Kalnick, he's a great dude, but we used to see Aaron Kalnick in here and he would drop, you know, he would come in and drop $100 probably, you know, probably twice a month. And I know I would imagine that it's probably like he probably wants to, but maybe he's not able to anymore, maybe financially, whatever, who knows what's happening. I wish him well. You know, or like Glenn, you know, I love Glenn, he's a great dude. I hope he still continues to show up every day, but he used to drop, you know, $100 2 to 4 times a month, you know. And then we had Robert Valadares who would, you know, drop $100 or a couple $100 a month. And we had let's see, who else would we have? We had Eric Sharma who would come in here all the time and, you know, drop stars like crazy. And let's see here, who else did we have in here? We had Adam, let's see, who else would come in and drop big stars? Faith came in here for a while and she was dropping really big stars for a while. We had Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman had at one point sent $500 to Twitch in a month or whatever, and you know, just I know he said his circumstances changed, and I just messaged him recently, and you know, I was like, hey, you know, and he did start showing back up, but I was like, hey, you don't have to donate to show up. I know you used to donate a lot, you know, and you know, you don't have to feel like you have to donate to show up, you know. I mean, I hope people do, of course. I hope people want to support and can support, but at the same time, I'm not gonna like treat people differently if they can't, you know. But we just like, that's sick. I know there's more people than that used to drop really big donos, and I know there's more that I can't think of, you know. I think we had Kelly MacArthur who used to show up all the time, you know, and drop at least, I think she used to drop at least 50 a month, you know, in donos and stuff like that. And then, you know, at one point Angelo was sending, you know, 400 to 1,000 every month for years, you know. It's like, I don't know how they did it, I don't know how they kept it up, but they did, you know. It's but at the same time, like that's like 8 people off the top of my head that used to be, you know, big monthly supporters and don't really do that anymore. So unfortunately, like, we haven't had, you know, it used to be like every 2 or 3 days we'd have someone come in here and drop $100, you know, and it just doesn't happen anymore like it used to. So, or even drop like a 5k star drop or whatever, you know, like it happens here and there. I have a few people who still do that, like, you know, J. Michael Gonzalez will come in here a couple times a month and drop like 9,000 stars or whatever, which is crazy awesome. But it just seems like we used to have a lot more people who would do that, you know? Well, I don't know. And you can't help but wonder if, like, you know, as a streamer, did I push people away, you know? Hang on, everybody. The baby put something in his mouth. I had to go check on that. I earned these P-Wings. I'm going to use them. How am I doing today? I'm treading water mentally. I'm okay. I appreciate you asking. I'm doing good enough. I remember that big star drops and others would drop. Yeah, right? How many balloons are left? 19. Yeah, I mean, Phil, you remember how stars used to come in, man? They used to just come in like crazy, dude. Like crazy. You remember that one time? I think it was, what was his name? It was, It was the guy who did music, Phil. He did music, and he did like the really crazy music. For sure, Tyrone. But I still can be, you know, like I still can be, you know, like I wish it was that way again, you know. You know, I mean, I can still wish and hope that it goes back there. But my thing, what I was talking about this morning, is the economy was worse during the time when I was doing better. You know, that's what I was saying this morning, is like, you know, under the prior 4 years, you know, the economy was worse, and more donations were coming in. So now, like, you know, there's no reason to get upset with me, Tyrone. If you're getting upset with me, then, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I still have my opinion, man. I'm not sure. It seemed, you know, I don't know. Been there, done that, he says. Chris Frederick says, hey, Phil. What was his name? His name was Josh, I think, Phil. Bowser's Titanic. That's funny. Well, the tone is in your exclamation point. You said we all do with an exclamation point, and so that sets the tone, you know, is the exclamation point. I can't help how I perceive things, you know. But I'm glad if you're not. Right. But basically, you know, I'm just kind of been, you know, I've been keeping it in and keeping it in and keeping it in, and today I couldn't keep it in anymore, and so I'm doing a little venting, you know. Because things are way lower than they ever have been, you know. Handfuls of people who used to support like crazy, you know. For sure. I mean, heck, Tyrone, I miss when you used to come in here, and, you know, Tyrone used to come in here on a regular basis and drop 5K stars down. You know, it was like, it seemed like once every 2 weeks you would come in here and just boom, you know. And I understand, you know, like you got things to do and things to take care of, and whether you've dropped stars or not, I've always treated you exactly the same. You know, I've always it's not, you know, it's not about the money, but at the same time, I rely on it, you know. So, like, it's like, you know, so that's why, you know, it is and it isn't, you know. I will never treat anyone differently if they donate at one point and then stop supporting, you know, for whatever reason, because you have your reasons. They're probably important, you know, whether it be housing or food or whatever the case, you know, just living. For sure. I just hope it goes back to how it was before, that's all. That's all I'm saying. Oh, man. But, like, there were so many people who supported like crazy for a long time. Like, even like, you know, like Patty Kopecki used to come in here like every, you know, 2 weeks and, you know, drop, you know, 2,000 stars or 4,000 stars or whatever it seemed, you know. I don't know. It just seems like so many people who used to support either don't or can't, or, and, you know, I understand, and I'm still nice to, you know, I have friendships with these people, so whether they support or not, that's neither here nor there. I'm still going to be friends with them, you know. But it is just very tough to, you know, go from having so many people that supported to... Did I fall? I didn't fall there, did I? That was weird. That happened to me recently, where I didn't fall, but I did. Oh, I hit the flame. Huh. Thanks, Phil. Hey, there you go. There you go. Now it's time to relax since you were productive, right, Kevin? Nice. I didn't fall. Okay. Interesting. See, huh. I wonder what flame I hit then. Hey, Patrick Keller, how you doing, man? God damn it. Oh, motherfucker. I'm gonna use a fire flower for this level and get some of the plants. Nice, Sylvia. Enjoy. The hidden flame in the clouds. Oh, motherfucker, are you kidding me? That was bullshit the way that thing came out of there, because it was not coming out. Oh, you rented it for free from the library? That's cool. It's a good idea. Using your resources, that's smart. Maybe we should rent the kids Switch games doing that. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. I wonder if the library even has Switch games. That's such a good idea. I didn't even think about that. Renting games from the library, and they're free to rent too, right? Do people donate to them, I guess, to rent out? I don't understand. That's still neat, though. That's such a good idea, Sylvia. Lucas is getting so mad at his game right now. Here we go. Part took a little bit of concentration. It's been one of the longest Mario 3 runs I've had in a long time, but lots of kind of stops in the gameplay, I guess. And I want to just say also to the people I mentioned who used
Boy,
to
you suck at Mario 3. Get better. Hopefully these stars will help your sloppy gameplay. You foffa. Stop faffing around and beat this game. Stick to Contra if you can't beat this game. P.S. Glenn smells and swallows.
Oh my god. One thing I do want to say real quick is anyone who did support a lot in the past, and even if you can't now, I still always hope you know, if you never support again, I hope you continue to come back, you continue to watch. You know, it's not, you know, people who did support at one time a lot. I appreciate what you did. And, you know, it's not all you are. You know, people aren't just a number, is all I'm saying. Like, I am glad you show up whether you donate or not. But I hope like a motherfucker donates, you know, donos come in. But at the same time, like, you know, a good viewer is a good viewer, and they're hard to come by. You rented Helldivers 2 from the library? There you go. When you get a good viewer, you hope they keep coming back, whether they donate or not, because good conversation is important too. Oh man, I almost turned into a statue. I never think about renting from the library, ever. I need to start thinking about that more. It just makes me wonder though, like, I don't know, because sometimes you see, you know, sometimes you, I don't know. It's hard to, like, the part of the problem is too is my birth sign is a Cancer, and I'm an emotional bitch, and I can only hold my thoughts in before so long before they, you know, before I vent. But after I do vent, it does help. I don't like that the conversation went slightly political today. I try to keep that out of it, but whatever. Well, you're all good, man. I'm so glad you're here. That's what I'm talking about, Pharaoh. You're all good, dude. I'm talking about just in general, like things are just lower this month than they ever have been, is all. That's okay, Michael. You're here for a long time at a time, you know. You're always here for a good while. Sometimes you just got to see what else is, you know, see what else is going on. I get it. I don't expect people to stay locked in for hours. Some people do, and I'm glad that they do, but you know, sometimes you can only watch for 20 minutes at a time, or 30 minutes at a time, or, you know, 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I don't know. You know, whatever it is. But luckily we do have a lot of people who, you know, do stick around for the whole duration, which is great. Matthew!
Here I come to accelerate this slow month. Launching support missile in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you so much. I really do hope things pick up. Or get back to normal. You know? I don't know, something's gotta give. Oh man. We don't mind hearing you cry and bitch. It's fine. Just change the tampon. That's funny. See, you know, I'd rather someone say something like that to me than them tell me I live in Fantasyland because I have a different opinion. You know, that's funny. Thank you so much, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew Burner. You're awesome, dude. Definitely has not been a slow morning, so that's good. Sadly, they didn't have Undisputed, but that's okay. I tried the 2-hour trial and loved it. It was on sale for $19. Oh, that's good. So, what was that Undisputed that you just showed a picture of? Was that a library rental recently? Thank you again, Matthew.
It looks like he's got the cooties,
Good game. I usually beat this game in about 2.5 hours, so it took me about a half hour more this time. 20 minutes more. What's up, Kevin Bosco? He says, all right. I wish I lived in Gasp, so I could always be surprised. Gasp! What's going on? Oh, nothing. I'm just reading. I ordered 2 kg coffee beans online from an independent coffee shop. It's so good. Interesting. Nice. Where did you order it from? GasPay. But it's spelled like gasp. GasPay. Thank you for playing it. I've never seen the end before. You're welcome. What am I playing now? A little bit of Tetris. Thinking about probably going and making the kiddos lunch soon. They've just been playing in the playroom. I have a big ass baby monitor right here that I keep an eye on things. And I can still hear everything that's going on. Everything's in earshot. Hey Arnold was great. Big thank you again, Matthew. It's definitely been a way slower than normal month, so I appreciate that. And rather than coming in here and telling me everything sucks for everybody, you're just like, boom, here you go. Here's some support. I know things suck. I don't want things to suck. Well. Not that Tyrone is wrong, or anyone who's saying that is wrong, because they're right. But, you know, sometimes sometimes you don't want to hear what makes sense. You know? Sometimes you just want to fucking plug your ears and tune it out. New contract launch in WoW Legion Remix. I'll be playing and lurking. There you go. I've always appreciated Tyrone, though. He's a good guy. We helped him get his Switch 2 this year. We gave him one of our pre-order that we didn't use. I'm thinking it might be a good time to start trying to break into eBay. I had a He-Man VHS on there, but that didn't sell. I think I'm gonna put it on buy sell trade. Oh shit. GasPay. Did you get your GasPay? Nope. Still farting. I'm just kidding. I'm just being silly. I used to play WoW a long time ago. Long time ago. Amazon had it for $19, and I tried the PS Plus premium trial for 2 hours. It was great. Probably just as good as Punch-Out. I don't know about that one. It is cold in here. And I know if I'm cold, then they're probably cold. So I'm going to turn the heat up. Crazy how the NES version is the definitive version for competitions nowadays. Phoenix. That's true. When I'm slightly cold, other people are usually turning blue. Yeah. That's funny. Cortina is always super cold. That's true for me in Cortina. If I'm slightly cold, Cortina's freezing. That is absolutely true with her and I. She is always cold. Yeah. Your apartment is 95 degrees? I mean, all my corners are 90 degrees, but I don't know if I could live like that. That's crazy. Do you like it like that? Yo, watching from the hospital here with my wife. Been here since yesterday afternoon trying to figure out what is going on with her. Uh-oh. Where do I live? You're in Spain, and I need a heater. Hold on, y'all. Let's see here. It's cold where you are in Spain? You keep your place at a breezy 68? I like my place at about 71. Do you have AC, Sylvia? Man, it's always so freaking hot in Florida. I guess not always. You guys probably have some cold moments. So you enjoy that it's 95 degrees in your house right now? Are you sweating? My house is 19 Celsius. That is 66. You keep your house at 66? Oh, good lord. I'd be so cold. I keep my temperature in the 60s. That's the one great thing about my apartment, is that the temperature stays almost perfect without using heat in the winter. $66 degrees, huh? Man. Yeah, that would be too cold for me. You don't sweat, huh? That's crazy. Crazy Florida mutation, probably. Shit. All right. I tried to save this run by stacking up for a, you know, for a Tetris. Never again. It didn't work. I went to Florida once and it was weird not seeing any mountains. You're from California. It said never again. See, I've been live for 3 hours now. Big stretch. Boo, level 8. Yeah, that sucked. Alright. I'm gonna have one more cup of coffee, then go ahead and get out of here, I think. I made it to level 17 yesterday. But Phil's more of a what have you done for me lately type of guy. How far have you gotten lately? Level 17 yesterday? Who gives a shit? What the fuck is this game? What? What you talking about, Willis? Matthew with the most recent big dono. What would you like to see? Let's make this a big ol' cup of coffee. Lots of grounds in there. No requests. I'm lurking. Sounds good. Yes, that was the past. Now is now. Need some sugar. Sugar in the raw. That's how Phil likes it. All right. Let's try this Skippy peanut butter thing right here. This was a dollar store item. Here we go. Skippy peanut butter bar. It has milk chocolate, peanut butter wafer bar. So it's got wafers. smells very peanut buttery. But I guess that's a good thing. It should. Got nuts all over it. Covered in nuts. The nuts are on the outside, just like Phil likes it. Kind of like a nutty bar, but on a much thinner scale. It does look like cat poop from the litter box. Bill? All the peanut butter is in these pouches. Whole bunch of nuts in the bottom there. Let's see if I can empty this nut sack. Here we go. It doesn't feel like Doom, right, Sylvia? You know? It's not bad for what it is, I guess. Give it a 6 out of 10. It wasn't terrible. The chocolate tasted like... I am gonna land it. The chocolate tasted like cheap Easter chocolate. Cheap Easter chocolate. Like the rabbits. Too salty. Yeah. No, I'd rather just, you know, look at this big old nut sack. This thing's huge. I'd rather just have some nuts out of there. All right, here we go. Cortina has hyperthyroidism now. She's not eating like she has hyperthyroidism though. Matthew is hyper, I guess. Can hypothyroidism become serious if you don't like change your diet? I think my littlest one might need to lay down for a bottle. Hold on just a minute. All right. Thanks for waiting. Tony said back to adulting. Understandable. Thank you, Rohit. Appreciate it. Yep. You know, it's not bad. Doom the Dark Ages, it's not bad. I couldn't stay into it. Hypothyroidism can be very serious if untreated for sure. Diet on its own, it's not enough to deal with it. Oh, no shit. Maybe I should start deep diving. Fair enough. Because Cortina has hypothyroidism. And so far, unfortunately, she hasn't been taking it very seriously. Unfortunately, I think that happens a lot to where people, myself included, have something and then, hey Glenn, how are you, brother? I'm good, man. I've been having a morning, just venting, talking about, you know, how donos are low and this and that, and how it's a slow month, just to let you know. And just to let you know, I don't ever want you to think that I'm talking bad about you. I was going through a laundry list of people who used to send a lot of donos, and your name did get brought up. I mentioned you too, saying that you used to drop, you know, 9K stars here and there, you know, back in the day when you could, and I know you can't anymore. So just so you know, you did get brought up, but I wasn't talking negatively about you. I was just stating that it seems like things used to come in so much heavier, you know, and I know maybe you'll get back to that one day, maybe you won't, but I will always treat you the same and be friends with you and hope you come in the stream no matter what, regardless of whether you can donate or not. I just wanted to be upfront with you and let you know that, you know, I was talking earlier about, you know, people who used to support a lot and how I wish it would get back to that eventually, you know, but you know, you and I are friends, man. You got I understand you got a lot of circumstances that, you know, it is what it is. You had the whole HOA thing for a while that was up your ass, and anyway, I just wanted you to know that I wasn't talking smack or wasn't talking bad. I was just thinking back to, you know, when I used to have a whole crap ton of people, it seemed like, who used to be dropping big donos all the time, you know, that's all. Because this month is just really slow, and this year has been pretty slow in general, comparatively. Either way, how are you, Glenn? I just wanted to let you know in case you watched the stream back and you were like, well, I didn't know you were talking about me before I came in here. You know, I don't know. I just always like to be upfront. Hey, Chris Knapp, how you doing, man? It's all good, brother. It doesn't change. I'll always watch. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. And like I said, I wasn't saying anything bad about you whatsoever. I was just stating how there was I was naming off people who used to support Big, like Robert Valadares and John Kime, and, you know, people who we don't see anymore, you know, and there's just some people who we do see who used to support Big who just can't anymore. And it is what it is. It's understandable. But yeah, I just want to let you know I wasn't talking crap. I was just going through a list of people who used to support Big and can't anymore, or don't anymore for whatever reason. Maybe they stopped watching. You got everything under control now? That's always good. Did your kid going down for a nap or whatever? It's always good to feel like you have some sense of control. What the fuck? I landed nearly every time. Damn it. Let's try again. Fuck it. That was bullshit. I feel like I've been 30 numbers off at times and it's let me land. Try one more time. I remember when Phil wasn't a dried out summer's eve. Oh my god. Power to the V.
How can they make landing so difficult?
Let's try one more time. Alright, we're gonna try this one more time. No. Alright. Probably after this game would be good for me to go and then come back. Start another stream. What's up, Punk Sticks? How you doing, man? I remember when Phil was a dried out summer's eve. Phil says, hey, Punk Six. Man, I tell you what, you know, one thing I like about the book, about Facebook, is I can delete a stream and I don't lose any stars. You don't lose them at all. But if you delete a YouTube stream, you lose any donations that came in over there. So I'm very careful about not deleting any streams or any videos. Hey, brah. Patrick Keller is a pretty fart smeller. I mean, I enjoyed Doom: The Dark Ages. The first time I streamed it, I played it for like 3 hours. It wasn't a bad game. It just feels more like Serious Sam or Painkiller than Doom. And I'm not saying I dislike Serious Sam or Painkiller. I own all of them. I enjoy them. Thank you, Phil. Oh my god.
I remember when Glenn had hair and didn't look like a creep. Now he's a guy you can't trust at the laundromat cause he will steal your dirty underwear, you sicko. Glenn has fafarf on his face and as.
Good lord. I love how Fafa has become... Oh, you don't have to be sorry, Jake Hells. You're awesome, dude. See, how did I land at that time? I was at like 140 and 320. Like, what? But it didn't give me to the last time when I was at 190 and 330? What the fuck? My numbers were way off on that one. Whatever. Doctor came in for an update? Man, I hope everything's okay, dude. Hey, Punk Sticks, we might play some Ninja Turtles on lunch. Just letting you know. They gave the game gave the landing to me that time. You're welcome, Jake Hells. Alright, we need about 80 missiles for this level. Did you say lunch? Yes, buddy. Oh. You're not grounded. No, you're not. Fuck that. You're in for the turtles? Sweet. This game needs a... Dude, I know. It totally needs a soundtrack during the gameplay. But you know what's funny is they put all the music in this game in the demo before the game begins. Man, fuck that. Anyway, listen to this. Watch this. Okay? So the music goes here. You know, of course, it does its regular opening. I just landed the plane, Justa, but I didn't get past the second level. This game is really tough. So, here in a minute, the demo for the game will start. This game actually plays a gameplay demo. Hey Glenn, hey Chris. Hey ADD, how are you, brother? I'm doing good, Glenn. I appreciate you asking. I've been up in my feelings this morning. You missed my bitch fest. So here we go, listen. Why'd they put this awesome music? Why can't this be the game music? You know, why couldn't they have put this? Like, who thought about that? Like, we're gonna put this awesome music in the demo. It's the same level too, it's the first level. Yeah, the landing the plane takes practice and eventually you'll get it. You know, it's just, it took me a long time to learn too, and now I know how to land it. It's still hard even when you know how to land it. Or know how to connect the fuel. I know how to connect the fuel now, but that's still tough. Alright, y'all. My plan is to come back around 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and get going though. Thank you for hearing me this morning, hearing me out. I was most definitely up in my feelings, man, but it's just been a slow month. So thank you so much for all the donos today from Phil and Ori and Rico and Errol and Sylvia and Errol and Nicola Grosso and Justin Vogel. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for the support from Generation Jason, Laura, and Maya. And then thank you for the super chats from Michael Wallace and from Matthew Bernier. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. I should be back in around 2 hours or less. Jake Hells with the $10 super chat. Well, I ain't leaving now. Bonus game. I can't leave yet now. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Hey, you slipped that in just in time. Let's do Kung Fu really quick. Well, a $10 dono like that deserves a bonus game. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jay Kells. That's awesome of you, man. Jay Kells with the $10 super chat, man. That's awesome. Kung Fu boring. Kung Fu's not boring. This game is fantastic. Jay Kells, what Nintendo game should I play? I've already played Mario 3. Give me a request, Jay Kells. Feeling something with my foot and I had to pick it up. I have a creepy feeling you love me, you know you do. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed, Sylvia. Like I said, I didn't say it was a bad game. I just said it reminded me a lot of Serious Sam or Painkiller. The thing you picked up was Phil playing with your feet, taking pictures. That's my son's favorite word right now is "da." Yeah, I mean it's not a bad game. Like I said, it just reminded me too much of. I get bored with games like just because I get bored with a game too doesn't mean it's a bad game. It just means it only keeps my attention for so long. You know, like Serious Sam and Painkiller, they only keep my attention for so long. Jim said loved Kung Fu. We could probably get another 6 ounces of coffee out of that big thing of coffee that I brewed there. Sometimes I wonder what would happen to the channel if I started playing more modern than retro. No, we're gonna have a sandwich here in a little bit. What's that? You want Blippi?
Up there.
Well, you want Blippi on in your room? Okay, that's fine. You just bought an air fryer? Nice. Is this your first air fryer, Glenn? What brand did you go with? Hi, Ivana. You just used your air fryer to cook up some fish? You remember this game? You loved it. Hi, ADD. How are the ankle biters today? You know, they're always sweet. Always sweet, good kids. Walked Owen and Tabby down to the bus stop this morning. I laid back down for like an hour. Alaskan pollock dipped in melted butter. I don't think I've ever had Alaskan pollock. Your very first air fryer. It's my very first air fryer. It was a Toastmaster from work. We earned points from getting recognized. Oh, nice. So that was your first one. So you've had an air fryer before then, Glenn. Okay. I love air fryers. They're so good. They, you know, the only thing I don't like cooking in them is pizza or pizza rolls. I don't like pizza rolls in an air fryer. I don't like the crunchiness that they get or the crispiness. I like my pizza rolls to be squishy. Motherfucker, I keep getting hit on this part. I'm losing all my power-ups. Try this again. Another bonus game. Dragon Spirit's an awesome game. I just seen Anna Maria pop in. I don't see her anymore. Welcome in, Anna Maria. How are you? We don't see Anna Maria anymore these days. But I hope you're well. You and your new baby. I believe that's the right person. Yeah. A lot of other things I like crispy. Like anything fried from a restaurant that you bring home, the air fryer will just bring it back to life. Freaking Phil cooks whole steaks in there. For some reason, I just don't feel like they get... Like when I cook a steak in there, it just comes out looking all gray. But Phil says you have to sear it afterwards. Yeah, I like to squeeze the insides out of the pizza roll. And then eat the and then just eat the rolled up roll. You guys remember when pizza roll commercials first came out? Man, they made us want that shit. They made us want pizza rolls bad. What is microwaving dry out? Microwaving dries out a lot of things, but pizza rolls, no. You know, if you, yeah. This is a great game with great music. What a cool idea for a shooter too. I don't know if that thing makes me faster or what. Oh yeah, it does. Microwaving things from food restaurants, like fried stuff. Yes. Agreed, Glenn. Oh shit. Two out of the three kiddos are asleep. I need to capitalize on a little bit of a nap soon. Alright, I think once I beat this boss, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I just kind of turned this on as a bonus game. Played a bonus game of Kung Fu because of Jay Kells. Thank you, Jay Kells, again for the dono, dude. Hope everything's okay with the wifey. Yeah, dude, for sure. Hope you guys just get some dang answers. Oh, man, I could have had health there. I feel like I'm almost like micro sleeping. You guys ever been there where you're so tired you almost feel like you're like micro sleep, micro napping? Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Have I really been live for almost 4 hours? 3 hours, 48 minutes? Holy crap. Alright. It's been a long stream. It's been an awesome stream, but I'm gonna be back in a couple hours. I'm gonna be back around 4 o'clock. So thank you again, Jay Kells. Good luck, man. Take care. Tell the wife the guy on the screen said good luck. I'm gonna try to be back around 3:30, everybody. Take it easy, maybe sooner. Ninja Turtles in the afternoon. Have a good one, Ray and Jay Kells and Jamal and let's see, and Punk Sticks and Matthew and Chris. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for hearing me vent. I try not to, but today my heart was heavy. So thanks for listening, everybody.